consumer society. Alright, so how does consumption explain why the West and not the rest? In the 1700s, you could see wide diversity in cultures, such as the African Bohemians, where they wore clothes made out of silk, and you see Chinese people wearing other clothes. But now, in the 21st century, you see everyone else wearing like Western clothes. You see them wearing T-shirts and pants that are of Western origin. So what is consumer society? Consumer society is economic and social order that encourages people to buy products. So, birth of consumption revolution. So every industrial revolution starts off with textiles, such as cotton boom in Britain.
So what were the effects of consumption? Firstly, we have the government that makes more money. For that to happen, they had the common law that basically was passed from the legislative down to the judges, and then that is back to the executive, and they passed that through. And this let the people, this encouraged the corporations to form, which these corporations made more supplies, and the more supplies that they made encouraged more people to buy. And with this, the money got back to the corporations, and then the corporations made that back to the government. Secondly, was that it made the world seem smaller, not actually did make it smaller. But it only took 3 years for the Watt steam engine to reach France, and then it hit Germany, then it went to America, and finally it went to the East. This connected the world by them all having the same transportation. It seemed as if they were all on the same line, as if they were all going together as one. But the West was one of the first people to have it, and they were ahead because they had it first. The consumer society wasn't more advanced, except for maybe a little bit in agriculture and science. This made it easier for the British Industrial Revolution to advance, and since again, back to the point of government having more money, the common law helped corporations form, which thus made the world seem smaller because there was more people. What did they do to encourage consumption to be bigger? This is just, like earlier, the common law. It helped corporations to form, thus giving more supply, more demand, people wanting more, buying more, giving more.
One explanation that how consumer society pulled the West on top of the rest will be the supplies and demand cycles. So the revolution would be pointless if it was just mass producing like clothes and other goods without consumption. So consumer society just gave a point to the revolution. The factories that's making the goods, the industrial revolution was the supply, and the consumption would be the demand. Since there were a high supply, the demand was higher as well, and just kept on going like that. So the demand was high, and so was the supply. They just kept on going up and up, and just benefited the corporations and the governments. This is a picture called the Greed Revolution, just explaining why people kept on buying more and more. It's just like a normal evolution chart, and then there's just people going through like barcodes, symbolizing like people buying things. People wanted more like modern things. Since people bought more goods from the factories, they were more like modern.
Because after all, we are what we wear.
And if you take an example, say I'm in Korea, 19th century, I'm wearing the traditional clothes called hanbok, and I see these Westerners, young Westerners that's cool and modern, is wearing jeans. what would I be thinking? I would be thinking that they are more modern, therefore more superior, therefore I should copy them. That's what like Russians, Chinese, and the Japanese did. It's copied everything from genes to political system from the West. And this has a thing with psychology since the genes just made the Westerners more attractive, so the Easterners just idolized the Westerners, and they were just a step behind them. In conclusion, unlike medicine and technology, a consumer society was an app that every country wanted to download, because bigger consumption meant bigger economy, and just bigger economy meant your country's status and powers is higher. Because the West recognized this, that the consumer society is that important, they downloaded first, and they were always a step on top of the East. Thank you.
For our activity, we're going to be taking a short quiz. But for number 7 on the quiz, we didn't go over it on our presentation, so just don't do it.